Welcome to the Michigan Tribe Podcast. Today we are meeting with Alicia Williams to talk about a mind-blowing story about learning who she really is. We're also talking about being a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Let's dive in.
3, 2, 1, talk to me.
Welcome to the Michigan Tribe Podcast, where we get to hang out with female entrepreneurs and women business owners in Jackson. And today we get to hang with Alicia Williams, whose bio I'm going to read here in a second. But really, I don't even think I'm going to read this. This is 1/3 of what you do, if that. God. So and this is like the first one I've had to ask for because I was like, I don't even know where to start. But let us begin with this bio. So Alicia is a seasoned leader, advocate, and entrepreneur whose life's work bridges identity, service, and community impact. With over 40 years of experience spanning adult foster care, mental health services, education, and community leadership, you have dedicated your life and career, Alicia, to uplifting individuals and strengthening systems that serve vulnerable populations. I couldn't agree with that more. When we met, I think, you were the president of the NAACP. You had a business with your husband. You had another business that was budding. You now have, I don't know, like 13 businesses or something like that. You also had a full-time job. But you really began your journey in adult foster care, helping operate your family's group homes serving developmentally disabled individuals in Jackson County. You then earned your bachelor's degree from Michigan State University in communication and child psychology. You expanded your impact into education, where you spent over 2 decades supporting students and families. And during that time, you co-founded the Jackson Learning Lab, the county's first K-12 virtual school. Then you returned to so many different things, one of which was being a consumer benefits coordinator with Christ-Centered Homes. You also started an identity solutions company. You now have a podcast that you said it's from
Hidden to Healed.
From Hidden to Healed podcast. You're the founder of ASD Signature Solutions. And you, I'm going to take a sidebar and just say, you're just like the secret FBI agent that we're going to talk to you about in just a second.
Yes.
So please tell me how I can join this tribe. And then you also, off script, one of the things you spend time doing is, what is it actually called? Is it the angel services that you do to help people know who their biological families are if they're adopted? Search angels.
Yes, search angels.
So you've miraculously.
I am not a trained search angel, but through a little bit of what my journey was there, I really picked up a lot of tips and tricks to help find people when people have discovered that their parents are not the parents that they thought. So I've helped 12 families now, 12 individuals find their birth families.
That's incredible. So I want to dive into that part of the story a little bit right now, because if I remember correctly, we briefly talked about this at an event that we ran into each other at recently. Yeah. You straight up just did a random family DNA test, right?
Oh, wow.
Or a family tree or something. And then you were like, wait a second, that parent doesn't look right. Right?
Well, it wasn't meant to be random. I was raised having this rich family history. And my parents had instilled all of this, indoctrinated history of who my grandparents were, and family trees were always big. And every time somebody was born, we've had ancestry trees since Ancestry came out.
Yeah,
way before Ancestry DNA.
Okay,
so my life never quite added up, and so we always had this running joke that maybe I'm adopted. But my daughter...
With the people who raised you? You had that running joke?
Yeah, because, me and my mom were like...
Oh, wow.
She was night, I was day. She was up, I was down. We just never clicked like mother and daughter. But she was much older also.
Yeah, okay.
And so I just assumed, it's a different generation and mom doesn't get me. So it was a joke. And honestly, in heart of hearts, it was always a joke.
Yeah.
But my daughter bought me an Ancestry DNA kit for Christmas of 2018. And I didn't do it until March of 2019. And I was expecting to solidify the history that I had always known, all the people that I was always known. So when I got my email that said your kit is in, I hopped in, went to my page that was already created, and nobody's name was a name that I recognized.
Wow. Did you think something was wrong?
I absolutely.
Like, you were like, okay, they sent it to the wrong
my God.
person.
I fired off the angriest letter to Ancestry DNA. You guys are bogus. You're selling, you are selling pipe dreams to people. You're mixing up DNA samples. I'm in healthcare. This is a violation of my, I just
Wow.
Stop. And I got this form letter back that very politely and kindly told me that they're experts in this field and they don't make mistakes, and it's checked and double checked, and all the chromosomes that are matching. And I was like, bogus, don't believe it. And
Really?
and closed it up. Didn't want to deal with
Really?
it. And I would open it back up expecting that they had fixed it.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, for 3 months, I was waiting for them to fix it.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
What finally settled for you? We're like, wait a second, maybe
Yeah.
they know what they're doing? Or like, what was the...
Back to mom.
Yeah.
Like I said, mom's a little bit nutty.
Same.
People say that about
Same.
me.
Hi, Mom.
she would say things that just never made sense. So I had, as an adult, taken to talking to my mom on speakerphone because I needed a witness for the things that she was going to go left on me about.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
She kind of cut deep sometimes. And so she called me on a Sunday afternoon after church, and she is the mother of our church, the oldest member that we had at the time. And my daughter was not in church, and so she was going on and on about, why weren't you at church? And my daughter was pregnant, and I was telling her she wasn't feeling good. She was in her 3rd trimester. They were still wondering, why is she still sick in her 3rd? And my mother just did not get the concept of this pregnancy.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
She and I was like, no, Mom, morning sickness should end by the end of your first. And she's like, really? And I was like, Mom.
Uh-huh.
Don't
And
you
then
get
she
this?
did
Yeah.
the concept of butterflies in the belly. It was like totally escaping her. And I was kind of like, how are you so disattached that you don't remember that?
Right.
Every mother remembers that.
Oh.
And so,
Okay.
so I was getting kind of loud with her.
Okay.
And Sunday evening, my husband is a Formula One fan, and we were bugging him. We were bugging him to death. He couldn't hear the race over us. And he snapped. He snapped. And he slammed his hand down, and he's like, that's it. Hang up the phone. Stop talking to this woman. You know this woman has never been pregnant a day in her life. She's not your mother. Get back on that kid and go find your real couple.
No way.
Okay, you guys are kind of young. You're not young enough to be my daughters, but I turned into Laura Petrie.
We don't have to be young to know that.
Okay. And I was like, oh my God, what are you saying?
Right.
You've
Yeah.
never said that to me before.
Right.
What are you telling me?
So
He's
he
like,
knew
"I
you had
never
taken
thought-"
the test, and he knew that the results had come back and that they
This
weren't
man,
aligned.
after 35 years of marriage, tells me he never thought she was my mother.
Really? He kept that in.
Calvin.
He says, I asked you over and over when we were dating. Well, when you ask somebody, is that really your mom? She's your mom? That's your mom?
Yeah, it just sounds like
yeah,
wow.
yeah, okay, yeah.
She's a
mom's
wild card.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Your mom's
Sure.
Then you meet Alex and I, you're like, that's definitely your mom.
Wow. Wow.
So he hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
He shocked me into, I got to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And the next morning, I couldn't sleep that night. I was tearful that night. And I'm going all of the time warp going back to life and everything. That
Thinking
never
about
made
all the
sense
moments.
and all the moments that didn't add up and everything. And so the next, I had never seen my birth certificate, my original birth certificate. I didn't have a copy of my birth certificate until we got married. And I noticed that it was amended. The year wasn't right. And so my mother and dad had given me this excuse on how that came to be. Oh, well, here's a little confession. We weren't married when we had you. And then your father had to legally adopt you because when you were born, it was under my maiden name.
No way.
Well, I
Gosh.
fell for all of that.
Holy
because that
smokes.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
So I fell for that. So that was the story that I knew. But when people say you're born in Detroit, you don't You could be Wayne County, you could be Oakland,
Yeah.
you could be Macomb. Because when you're down here, you know, when you're this end west of Detroit, everything down there is Detroit. Everything
all
past
Detroit,
Metro.
right.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you
No,
get to
true.
Metro,
Yeah, true.
everything else is in Detroit.
Yeah.
So the next morning, I got up. I was heading to work. I usually take the highway to work just to go with a couple of exits to get to Michigan Center, and I didn't get off. And I kept on going, and I kept on driving. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I needed to do, but I know I needed to find out the beginning. I had
Wow.
to find out. I had to find out where I was born and what my original birth certificate said.
Whoa.
And mind you, this is March. No, I'm sorry. I waited a couple months for that denial part.
Right.
April. This is April of 2019.
Okay.
Okay.
COVID April
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
So you're talking people are just masking up. People
Yeah.
are just locking their doors.
Was that 2019 or 2020?
Well, I mean, we had
When was
heard
it?
about it in like late 2019. We really
That's
didn't have
right.
anything.
That's right.
So,
Okay.
I mean, interesting time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So people were not welcoming.
Sure.
You weren't allowed to just walk into people's
Walk
offices.
into somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Where'd you drive to?
I started calling the vital statistics offices, and Wayne County, you had a message and you had to go through these prompts and everything. And so I left a message. Oakland County, it was clear I was not born in Oakland County. They couldn't help me.
Okay.
And then I had left a message with Wayne County.
So basically, you're just calling these vital
While I'm
services
driving.
offices saying, "Do you have a birth certificate on file
okay.
for?"
Yes.
And were you giving them your current name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
And my
That's
and my
confusing.
parents' name.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Giving them my parents' name. And so I was already being detoured, and I was already around the metro area on the highway when Wayne County called me back, and he had advised me that no, I was not born in, I'm sorry. He had advised me that I was not born in Macomb, but he was connected to the state vital statistics, and that Wayne County is where you need to be going.
Okay.
Okay.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I kept on going there and walked in and basically said, it sounded like a blubbering
Yeah.
idiot. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know if I should be here. I'm just trying to find my original birth certificate. I'm trying to find out if possibly I'm adopted, possibly one of my
Wow.
grandparents. And she very quickly was like, you just can't walk in. You have to file a petition. You have to, and it's all done online and you have to pay. And I was like, I understand that. I will do whatever I need to do. Just
Yeah.
tell me, am I in the right place?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Like, don't make me go through all this process.
Yeah.
That 3 months from now, you tell me you have nothing for me.
so inadvertently, as I'm tearing and talking, and my Laura Petrie voice is starting to come out again.
Yeah.
She finally looked at me and realized this woman has no clue what she's doing.
Yeah.
And she came out with this Pendaflex file that basically looked like an old card catalog from the library. And she's waving it and fanning herself with it. And she's like, well, the good thing is the foster home that you used to live in is closed, and your records are with Vital Statistics in Lansing, and the adoption agency that you were placed with.
Oh my gosh, how much information just flooding at you in that moment. I can't even imagine how that would feel.
I just wanted my birth
Yeah,
certificate.
holy smokes! Like I didn't ask for all that.
Wow.
And it's all coming. I'm like, adoption agency,
Foster
care. Yeah,
How old were you in that moment? How old were you in that moment when you found this out?
53.
Wow, 53 years
Did you
old.
immediately call your mother?
find
What
that
did you
out.
do?
Oh, no, didn't come on.
Yeah, what did you
Didn't
do?
go on.
What did you do next?
Did you yell at that woman and tell her she was crazy? Did we extend the ancestry test?
No. So little secrets I've only told a few people was
Yeah.
I did everything to try to lure that woman out of her office because I was trying to steal my files.
Girl, I would be the same.
Nice.
I was
I would
like-
have too.
I was like, and she had stacks and stacks of files because this was the post-adoption office of Wayne County. There were visitations going on. She had records everywhere, but she had pulled mine out And so I knew
Where
it
it was.
Yes.
Right.
And I was trying to lure her out. I was trying to get her to go get
Also
me
just,
some-
like, phone
I was
snapping the pictures. Yes.
I'm like getting
Yes.
the vapors. I need water.
Yes.
I need anything I could do. And I could not get her away from her desk.
Oh man,
So,
that would have been a story.
Yeah, so I ended up filing for everything very, very quickly. I mean, FedExing checks and hiring private investigators, hiring confidential intermediaries, and getting on my Ancestry DNA kit. And
actually looking at what it said.
no, I started calling everybody that was on it.
Did you?
Against, now I know that's not what you're supposed to do.
Oh my gosh.
I did the, hi, you just messaged my first cousin. I guess we're first cousins. Who are you?
Right. How
Were you
did
connected
was
to?
the conversations weird like that, where people caught off guard, or were they more accepting to you?
You know, they surprisingly enough, they were accepting to me because they had done the Ancestry DNA. So when someone else is on there, you're expecting to make matches.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
going through that route, I wasn't just randomly showing up on people's doorsteps with the information and going, "Hi, are you my daddy?"
You weren't the first. Yeah.
I'm
How are you, my
calling first cousins. You know,
Daddy's that you?
so I'm calling first cousins. And I say, I heard
Yeah.
we're first cousins. Can you tell me who your aunts and uncles are? And so,
Can you tell me who I am, please? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Wow.
Wow, my mind is totally blown right now.
And you told me this at one point, but now I'm not recalling. What is your birth name?
Sharon Denise Atkinson.
Sharon Atkinson.
Yeah. So my middle
What
name
was
was
that
Sharon.
like to learn? Like what your birth name was? Like, was that bizarre?
Gosh. And that was one of the last few things that I actually learned. I knew from the moment I left that office that my first name was Sharon.
Wow. So you learned right away.
So I learned that because she kept calling me Sharon. She said, Sharon, and I kept going,
You're going,
no,
that's not
not
my name.
my
And I said, do you have the wrong file? My name is Alicia Sharon. And she's like, but Sharon this and Sharon that. And so I knew my name was Sharon.
So you are blowing my mind. This is wild.
Through the Ancestry DNA, I discovered that my father's family were Feltons. And I had found my father's brother. My father was deceased. I had located my father's brother in Detroit, who it took him just a day to recall the entire story of me. And so he became my surrogate dad very, very quickly.
Oh my gosh.
And he remembered everything about how I came to be, except for he could not remember my mother's name because they called her a nickname. They called her something like Pumpkin or something like that.
Okay.
Really?
And
Okay.
so he could not remember her name.
So your parents were together or no for like a period of time?
My parents should not have been together.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
At any period of time.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll throw that in there. In a minute. Okay. There's only so many times your jaw can drop. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So I knew that my father's name, family name was Felton.
Okay.
And I knew my first name was Sharon. And then it took several months through private detectives, and then I finally was able to get some closure on my mother, who was also deceased.
Okay.
And they sent me her. They did not tell me her name. They said, we are putting these documents in the mail. We're going to FedEx them to you. And she said, I'm going to scan them and send them to you in the email. She would not tell me anything.
Interesting.
So when I opened them,
Yeah.
and through all of my detective lines and drawings,
Yeah.
I mean, I looked like I had the
I was gonna say, do you have
pen
like
thing.
red lines in yours?
Yes, yeah, and
Perfect.
What is
So
that?
there
Perfect
were
crime.
names that kept coming up. I knew every home my father had ever rented. I knew every I
Wow.
knew every title. I knew every phone from Ma Bell. I mean, I had dug deep.
Yeah.
And I was good at it.
Yeah.
I got
seems
really
like
good
it. Seems
at it.
like it.
So
Yeah.
I knew neighbors and who else lived there, who else got mail there. And so the same names were coming up over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Alma came up over and over, and Jessica came up over and over. But the ages of these people were like, are they daughters? Is this a daughter and a
Oh.
granddaughter? So that's how I was charting them.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I got my email, which came before my FedEx, and opened it up, and it said that my mother's name was Alma Jean Atkinson, I called my confidential intermediary back, and she's like, I'm so sorry your mother was gone. And I was like, it's okay. I was right.
Yeah.
I was right. I
Yeah.
found her all the time. I knew it was all the time.
Did you think it was her
I
when you
didn't-
were doing like
I
all the
didn't,
research?
because she was 14.
No.
She was a
way.
baby.
Are you kidding me?
So never did I think that she was the mother.
Holy
Whoa.
smokes. And was your dad that young?
My father was 34.
Oh, wow.
Are you kidding?
My father was my grandmother's live-in boyfriend.
Oh, my goodness. What is your life? What is happening?
That is
So-
that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
How'd you take that? How did you
I
take
took that very badly. I spent
Right.
a lot of time thinking about this incestuous
Yeah.
relationship and how he must have molested her, how he possibly raped her, and all these
goodness.
things. So I wasn't thinking very highly of my father.
No.
Right.
And, my heart was already bleeding for the woman that would be my mother. And then through my uncle, I had found out that that was a total misconception,
Okay.
that they both were from down south. He saw this budding relationship. He saw it maturing. He saw that my mother was just as smitten and in love with my father as he was taking with her. He saw the hands on the knee. He saw the hands come up around the arm. He saw the hands come over here. And my grandmother worked a lot of shifts as a server, and he was left with her daughter.
Wow.
They had a relationship, and resulted in me and my grandmother being very scorned,
Yeah.
angry,
Right.
pressed charges on my father. And
Wow.
2 days after my birth, my mother had to point the finger at my father in court and say, yes, he is the father of my child. And he was sentenced to 3 years.
Wow.
Holy smokes. That is what a story to
Were you placed for
Take
adoption
in.
immediately, or
I
what was the?
not. I
Okay.
actually went home with my mother. And my mother definitely wanted to keep me. But my grandmother, being a single mom, being a server, having a young daughter herself, felt that she could not afford
Yeah.
to raise this child, and nor did she want to raise her boyfriend's child.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
My goodness.
so I was placed up for adoption, but one of the women that worked at the restaurant where my mother worked was my adopted mom.
What?
Oh, really?
And she had shared with her, my daughter has had a baby, and we're going to put it up for adoption. Well, my adopted mom was old enough to be her mother, but she could not have children. And so the two women I now know,
Right.
basically
Made a
planned
deal.
this. Yes. You have to adopt her, so we're going to place her here. Here's the social worker's name. You're going to be able to get her right away. So it was all orchestrated from the beginning.
Whoa. So what is your adopted mother still alive?
She just passed last April.
Oh, I'm
We
so
just
sorry.
celebrated 1 year.
I'm so sorry. Did you guys ever have an honest conversation about that?
I had found everybody, had been in reunion, had visited, and had done everything before I ever told my mother that I had done it, because my mother was in her 90s. And my feeling, I was very angry. I loved my parents dearly. I was very spoiled and very indulged. So life was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Emotionally, it was skewed. It didn't make sense. My mom and I didn't bond, but I was definitely a daddy's girl. But I loved my mom.
Okay. Yeah.
I was over the top pleasing, trying to satisfy my mom. So this release of, I don't have to please you anymore. I don't have,
We're probably making sense of that disconnect a little bit. Like, God, thank God it was just,
Now I know
makes
why
sense,
you're up and down.
right?
Now I know why. And so, no, I didn't tell her for almost 2 years.
Wow.
And the only reason I told her was because she was just on her high horse about, my husband and I, my mother being nutty, had gotten her, did not realize that if you get in a car accident and the police take your car, that's called an impound.
Oh, yes. Okay.
They're not just helping move it out the street.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
So she had gotten her car impounded.
Oh, my gosh.
And left it there until she was ready to pick it up.
oh no, how big was that bill?
Yeah, how big was that? Pretty big.
Yeah.
Like,
She's like, oh, they just have it.
yeah, like we needed the Amex to get that running over.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And so I was fussing at her about, Mom, you have to tell us when stuff is going on.
Yeah.
And she was going on and on about how she would never owe me for anything. And, you'll get your money back. Yeah, I will not leave this planet with owing you. And the way she was saying it, I was like,
Today's the day. Today's it.
let's just Let's just back this up a little bit.
You know what? Today is not the day.
Yeah, it was not today.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was not today.
How'd she take it?
Oh,
I mean, I'm sure it was a little bit. Yeah.
denial.
Yeah.
Denial. Who told you that? That's not true.
Wow.
But in her saying that's not true, she's doing the,
Yeah.
I never wanted you to know this.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Wow.
But she's not. She's in her 90s.
Right.
It wasn't me in it. And so.
She's in her 90s and she left her car impounded for a while. So like, you know.
Right. I can't get over that. That is like
Wow.
a story. That needs to be like a documentary. It
Yeah.
needs to be like, that needs to be like,
Well, it's
on
a podcast
Netflix.
now. Mike's mission.
Yeah, it's on a
Yeah.
podcast.
It's a sitcom.
Yeah.
anyway.
That's crazy.
And we could literally spend another hour on this topic, but I am curious from a business ownership perspective, when did your business for identity solutions play into this? Had you started that before this whole journey started?
Oh man, this is crazy.
You know, I have always, even as a little girl, I wrote my own little business cards. Alicia S. Bennett, Esquire.
Okay, all right.
Because I learned that word Esquire.
Yeah.
And that you could
Sounds
be
very
anything
fancy.
you wanted to be and be Esquire.
Yep.
And you could just throw all of this stuff in there and be Esquire. No one knows what you do.
Yes.
And you can demand these high absorbent rates because you're Esquire. So I've always been business.
Yeah.
I made business cards as a little girl.
Yeah.
Okay. My kids had business cards for babysitting.
Well, and you've always
Yeah, I
had
love
multiple
that.
businesses, I think,
And
right?
my parents were business owners. My husband's parents were business owners.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to become a notary years and years ago.
Okay.
And I did that. And through working at Christ-centered homes and seeing how many employees that we sent for background checks. And
Fingerprinting, background checks. Yeah.
constantly over and over
Yeah.
and over and over.
Yeah.
My coworker, who worked at Christ-centered homes at the time also, and then worked for the city, we both kept saying, we should do this. We should do background checks because, you know, we're looking at we're
Paying all that
this money out. And so it was in the back of our heads. And when she retired from the city, I said, well, now we could start our notary business and our fingerprinting and background. And she said, let's do it. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, wait, I still have a job.
Yeah.
You're like, are you sure?
I still have a job.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
But we put together the business plan and started formulating everything. And then we just started with that, you know, doing the people who are already our customers, getting them to come back and do it through us. And then we found out it wasn't as easy as we thought because you have to have, you know, for anything in healthcare or anybody that's licensed, you have to go to through workforce development. It has to go through LARA and to get the contract for that. So
Right.
so that's how that piece for A&E Identity Solutions came. And then through discovering my family and doing all of the research and digging in and working with investigators and working with all that stuff and just getting hooked with the FBI that
Oh,
Yeah, that was the other round I was gonna ask. Like, where did that part come in?
That's
Explain the FBI kind of connection and how that came to be too.
Well, doing all of that and being president of NAACP at the time, Bishop Ira Combs, my pastor at Greater Bible Way Temple, he had already gone through FBI training as a community lead.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So he was the first in Jackson County.
Because, you know, that's what you do. You're a pastor and you're just like,
That's pretty
also get involved with the FBI.
Yeah.
Like, just random
he has been the prison chaplain, and he is
that's right. Okay.
ordained. He is ordained through several different police departments.
Okay.
So he had that connection to criminal justice, anyways.
Okay.
And through, he took his during COVID, and my pastor is not technology savvy, and so I always set up his virtual meetings for him. So I attended in the background, and I'm just back there going, "Oh my God, that's so cool!" And you know, and then the classes that he actually wasn't on screen at, and kind of had just that picture on, I'm back there.
You're like, oh, this is real cool.
So I essentially had taken it by proxy and fell in love with what they were doing. And so
Cool. What's that like official title? What was it that you were doing that the process that you went through and that your pastor went through?
Community liaison. We are graduates. Oh my gosh, the Federal Bureau of Investigation's community liaison program. So we are sworn in as agents.
Okay.
By the highest FBI agent that's available at the time. So Cash Patel.
Okay.
So we have pictures with him and everything. We go through all the training. We go through the ballistics training, the gun training, the FBI SWAT drop roll, cyber training, fraud, terrorism, all of that stuff. We do all of those trainings. So I got to do it the first year back after COVID. So I actually did.
Okay.
So it was that connection and taking criminology in college and everything. My associates was in criminal justice.
Okay.
So, so I do what I love and what's passionate about me and turn those into careers. And so with that, then I applied to be a notary for them. And so now I'm authorized to take victim impact statements.
That's right. I forgot you told me that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that for them. And then through that.
And what that means, right, is that if someone is being charged with a crime and there's a victim who has to give testimony
Yes.
for that case.
Right. But they're not actually, they're not a witness. They're not involved in the case. So it's external testimony. It might be brought in for evidentiary. It might be a case, where it's brought into for evidence during the trial, but they're not going to be on the trial.
Okay.
So I take their statement.
I see.
And
Now, is that a government contract or is it just something
it's
that
a subcontract.
It's a subcontract through. Okay. And so are you able to do that through your A&E identity solutions?
Yes.
That's
so cool.
Cool. That's really cool.
And
also,
and notarize it.
What do you know about true crime in this community that I need to know? No, I'm always going to try to make this a true crime.
Oh my God. And that's what I watch 24 hours a day.
Oh my God. Why would you not? Yeah.
So I feel like the reason why you look familiar. So are you the community person that goes out and helps when there's like gang issues in the community and stuff like that? Do you do any type of work like that?
I was doing that before.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a lot of that and on the scenes, boots on the ground for NAACP.
Right.
Okay.
And then because of a lot of the other organizations that I've been involved in, my face has been very visible. I've been with Right to Life. I've been with Junior Achievement. I've been with, of course, NAACP and city initiatives and things like that. So I like for my face to be seen.
Yeah.
Knowing that if you don't know where to go, at least you know someone who will tell you where to go.
Yeah.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I am curious about I wouldn't even call you a multi-passionate entrepreneur because you undoubtedly are, but I just mean you truly, like you're saying, all these things that you love, you've made into a business, but in reality, it's like many different businesses. So how do you manage that? And I mean, you're an incredibly big family person. We were just talking before we even started recording that you're going on a trip with your family. You and your husband have a business and you guys travel a lot for that business. You go to conventions and conferences for that business. And now you have these other businesses that you're running. Like, how do you balance those businesses? Is it like a day by day? Is it case by case? Does it all feel like one business to you? Like, how are you doing that?
As her phone goes off.
As her phone goes off.
She's such a busy lady.
Yeah. And I just realized I probably need to turn it completely
It's
off.
fine. You're busy. You know what?
How are you?
First of all, I really like my husband.
Yeah, that helps.
I really like that
Except for when he tells you that he doesn't think that your mom's your mom and like sends you on a completely completely new life
like
trajectory.
that guy.
Yeah.
And so because we like each other, like even if we got divorced, we would keep our business. We could.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I know that's the truth because my daughter got divorced and her husband keep their businesses.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing to be able to do that.
Raising our children in our businesses, and we've raised them and incorporated enough of every business that we're doing that if something happened to my husband or I, they can fulfill the next job. They can go in there and do it. So incorporating that in made it very easy because family business is family business.
And then all of your kids have businesses, and like they're all very much like you guys.
Only the youngest one is the only one still trying to figure out what she's going to do, and then we're like, you got to have a business.
What business are you gonna start?
Okay. I don't care what you do 9 to 5, but you have to have a business.
You have to have a side.
I told her go make hash brownies. I don't care what you want to do. It's a good business.
I was gonna say that's not a bad idea in this community.
One business of each.
I mean, you're an excellent baker, but nobody needs cupcakes. We got that.
We do need a certain kind of cupcakes, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
So just incorporating that into it, it makes it really easy because when I'm traveling with my husband and he's doing sound integration and he's spending so much of his time in Louisville, because of what I do with Christ Center Homes, I've been very fortunate to be able to craft my own style of work for everything I do. So because I'm consumer benefits, everything I'm doing is with the state, with Social Security Administration, with DHS. It's all online. So as long as I have a laptop and a backup laptop in case this laptop fails, I'm always at work.
Yeah.
So I never fail. I never miss a deadline. I never, I'm always doing what I'm supposed to do for Christ Center Homes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where I'm sitting to do that.
Yeah.
So whether I'm in Las Vegas, whether I'm in Orlando, whether I'm in Louisville, I'm on the job for that. So if I'm on a podcast, so 2 weeks ago, I was in Atlanta. And, for Untangling Our Roots, I had 2 podcast appearances and a speaking engagement. You come with, the laptops come with, and the only time that I have to be in a specific place is for our local hometown events, the events for American One, the events for the chamber, the banquets that have to be set up. And that's when everybody sees me sitting behind the table. That's the only time I'm ever chained to a position. The rest of them, I'm on the go.
Yeah.
And so whether we, call one of the kids and say, hey, who's off today? Can you go set up this projector at Gene Davis?
Yeah.
They all can do that. And then at the same time, we really like each other.
Yeah.
So all of my kids just live blocks from me, and we're kind of in the center. And if they see one kid's sibling's car at mom and dad's house, they all start going, what's going on? And so they all start stopping. They all start coming over.
You're not getting an opportunity I'm not getting, are you?
Yeah. And there's 5 of them. They're all adults.
Oh, wow. You have 5 kids.
Yeah, I have 5 adult children.
And how many are married?
3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't just have 5 adult children. You also have their families that they've created. Yeah.
And nope, I'll revise that. 2.
Yeah.
2 are married. 1 did get divorced, but my son.
But she still is a business owner.
And my
she's
son-in-law is still my son-in-law.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I could go home right now and he might be laying on my bed.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, he's still my son-in-law.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have developed, and maybe it was always there, and finding out that I'm adopted, is we collect family members.
Yeah.
And family is who you make it. And if we love you, and you're part of our family. So there's no halves. There's no steps. There's no in-laws. I've just was at my daughter-in-law's parents' house on Saturday, and they weren't home.
Right.
And we spent the day in their kitchen messing up their house.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though, that you guys have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the in-laws, we all can travel together.
Yeah.
Because we're all friends.
Oh, that's
kids have
fantastic.
married people that they like and that have been in their lives for a long time.
Well, and people probably don't realize in the community, and maybe they do, but I just, I got to know about you through working together who your kids were. Like, I wouldn't even place it together because they legitimately are your employees.
Yeah.
They're your business partners. You work for their businesses and help their business go out in the community. Like it just, you do very much, like you all operate so independently and so together.
Yeah.
And a really big, real way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of people know Robert Porter because they've seen him at our events, and he's been behind the camera and done photography, but he owns Joystick Mobile and Suds Gaming and things like that with his son. And then you may see Jessica at Jackson Public Schools, but then you may see her sign language interpreting for the governor.
Yeah.
Joshua works for Dunnigan's, but you may see his truck going down the highway where he does logistics and transporting. So,
Because in order to be your kid, you got to have a businessman. You got to get it together.
like I said, you better have a
Rite of
business card
passage.
that says something on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Esquire at the end.
Esquire. I love that. True.
So Alicia, I mean, I have so many more questions. I wish we could, podcast for 3 hours with you, but I'll just ask kind of one core final question. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs in the Jackson community or wider region, whether they're, started and they're all the way in it, or, they're considering starting a business? If you could tell everybody like one thing about business ownership that you've learned or want to advise them on, what might that be?
I think for us, Jackson has been probably our biggest struggle as far as building a network of business, because our community, we have so many people that are entrepreneurs and we have so many businesses, but we struggle to work together.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Black and white.
Yeah.
Against each other.
I was going to say in black community and white community and then together in both communities. Yeah.
And so, diversify yourself, network, make sure that the people that are in your network are people that know your worth, know your value, know what you do. Never miss an opportunity to sell yourself and brand yourself, because you never know who the next person is that's going to need you. And make sure I call it cross-pollinating. Just because I was the NAACP president, no, I'm not going to only work with Black businesses. I'm not going to only advocate for Black businesses, because that's not where our growth is. We need to be working together as a community.
Yeah.
And so as a woman, sticking together, with my blonde sisters, with my tracks, with my weaves.
With my weave sisters.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But getting that out there, and I think just networking and being true to who you are is the greatest asset for growing your business and doing what you love. Don't put yourself in a niche of doing something that you don't want to do just because you think you're going to get rich at it.
Right.
Oh my gosh, we talk about that so much. Like, you're not going to get rich at it. It's going to cost a lot of money.
I don't do any of these things for money.
Yeah.
I don't do any of them for money. And a lot of them I do for free. My husband has yet to pay me.
Good thing you like him.
Yeah, which is why I tell people, I own the business. He works for me. So.
Oh my gosh.
And tag, share each other.
Yeah, preach, girl. Yes.
Yes,
Oh my
absolutely.
gosh. Such great advice.
Yeah.
Such great advice. And it's so true. We need to work better together. And that's something that we definitely struggle with here.
Yeah.
Amanda and I try so hard. And, I think we've done an okay job of it over the last 5-6 years, but we have a lot.
I hope so. I don't know. There's a lot of work to do still.
There's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Alicia, thank you for joining us on the Michigan Tribe podcast.
you.
But even
That
more
was
than
so
that,
fun,
thank
so
you
good.
for making the Jackson community and so many other places your guys' home, because you're very mobile. But thank you for making this home, because it makes this a place that we love being and a place that we were happy to return home to after traveling and living other lives, and a place that we really value and care about is like the people in it. And so just thank you so much. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. I've had fun with you.
Yeah,
we
so-
had fun.
Beautiful
And thank you for being
Thank you.
vulnerable too, and being open about your story. Gosh, I wonder how many other women, men, whatever out there have this.
I don't want to know.
Oh, you'd be
This
amazed.
crazy.
You'd be amazed how
Yeah.
many people. Wow. And there's so many misattributed parentage.
Yeah.
Which means that a parent is not who you thought they were by some way.
Yeah.
And so I now have friends that are black market babies. I have friends that have been kidnapped. I have baby box friends, babies.
No
I have
way.
people that
Are you trying to make this podcast
believe
4
this?
more hours?
How many more? What? You're gonna be wanting more,
I have a
audience.
friend who literally was placed in a dumpster.
Oh my
Alicia.
gosh.
I'm just again so appreciative for you being vulnerable and
Yeah.
talking to us about it. It's eye-opening. But
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you
you.
so much. Yep. Okay, everybody, you know what to do. You got to subscribe wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube. Find us so that you can get the next episode as soon as it drops. Bye.
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 Talk to me.
Okay.